Ooh, what a last few weeks. Fucking hell. I'll make sure I cut that out when I actually cut this down. Don't you guys worry. All right, this was definitely, I know for a lot of us, a complete mess to WolfCon, especially being an online project. So I suppose to say thank you to each and every one of you. I know that probably woke up in cold sweats that night with Street Craftery nightmares thinking about this project. So
Yeah.
let me go ahead and see. So screen share. And if I go ahead and put this in slideshow mode, it will also save all cameras, correct? ABS, maybe no?
Yeah, it should.
Hopefully.
Okay. I always hate doing this because I always feel like it's going to get messed up, but that's just how it goes. Okay. So I'm going to do this. Let me get my clock set up so I can make sure we're on time. Okay. And what I'm just going to look at real quick is this. So introduction, 40 seconds. I'm going to write this down for myself. Okay. So I just would write that down so that I had that and can stay on track. Okay. So is this sharing my entire screen or just the presentation right now?
Just the presentation.
So you can't see any of my tabs or anything?
No.
Okay, that's what to double check. All right. And then what I am going to do actually real quick is hit stop and then share it again. So that way I know when to actually cut the recording. There we go. Go back to share. All right, we ready? All right. Hello, Dr. Sydney and the Street Craftery owner and team. So this is the Zip Integrated Professionals team, and we have crafted the Smelter Connection marketing campaign for Street Craftery. This campaign aims to increase sales and event bookings for your team and uses a unique target audience that you may not have thought of before as being as a potential audience. We want to see how we can help boost your campaign, your sales, and see how we can get this brand to next steps over the next year.
So starting with a quick overview of our campaign, we're going to be highlighting Street Craftery as a creative, community-centered experience. It's rich for a creative business networking environment. Our campaign connects people through scent and shared crafting moments. Our target audience is young, primarily female business professionals aged 24 through 35. Our secondary audience is social groups. Our goal of this campaign is to increase awareness, engagement, and workshop/event bookings. So starting with some industry trends within Street Craftery's company, starting with self-care, social connections, and multi-sensory experiences were some customer favorite trends within that industry. Experiential retail, live events and pop-ups, in-store restaurants, personalized services, and sensory-equipped experiences. Some insights for Street Craftery based on these results. They already incorporate touch, smell, and sight through their company, but they also could incorporate sound and taste through music playing at their sessions and with offering food and beverages options. Continue offering pop-up events. They recently had a Friendsgiving event. Offering more events like that will keep engaging customers. Also maintaining their warm and welcoming environment. One of their customers said in our survey that it really felt like a safe place to just enjoy the moment. I also loved how their energy made the session feel personal and encouraging. So as long as they keep maintaining that welcoming environment, it will be beneficial for the company. This is a overview of our sample and the results that came from it. Also, I included some comments and recommendations from a few of their customers. Based on these results, we're gonna focus on social media, specifically Instagram and LinkedIn for our marketing campaign. Based on the results, they said that Facebook was the top social media that they use to rely on information based from Street Craftery. So we're gonna take a lean and focus on Instagram and LinkedIn instead, because it the target audience that we're focusing on in this campaign will better beneficial from using Instagram and LinkedIn.
So we prepared a SWOT analysis for Street Craftery, and what we found were the strengths were that Street Craftery has a strong, emotional, creatively centered brand and identity, customizable candles and canvas experiences that differentiates the studio. It's a prime downtown location near major event venues. But the weaknesses we found were has a low brand awareness and declining social media engagement, a high dependence on local foot traffic for revenue, and limited reach beyond Akron due to narrow marketing channels. The opportunities we found for Street Craftery were a rising demand for DIY, in-home and mobile creative experiences, growing consumer interest in creative wellness and experimental activities, and local media outlets like radio and billboards, increased promotion for small businesses. The threats we found were the competitors, the Candle Studio and Sense Pop-Up, which both have a stronger digital presence and reach, economic instability, reduced spending on non-essential leisure activities, and growth of DIY at-home kits competing in studio workshops. The competitor analysis of the two main competitors were the Candle Studio and the Sense Pop-Up. Both offer similar creative experiences, both exceed the Street Craftery reach and visibility. Street Craftery has a strong emotional branding, but needs to grow awareness and reduce reliance on local traffic, and follow industry trends that present major external opportunities. Competitors outperform in visibility but lack Street Craftery's community-based identity. For the Candle Studio, it's a premium candle making experience with wine tasting. It has pricing and booking options clearly displayed on the website. They offer custom candles, mists, and diffusers. They have a strong digital presence with 4.1 thousand Facebook followers and 5.3 thousand Instagram followers. They position themselves as an upscale, aesthetic, memorable experience. The Sense Pop-Up, which was rebranded from the Sense by the Falls, it is to a mobile pop-up model. They travel homes and events for customizable sensory experiences. They offer candles, wax melts, diffusers, and offer wedding and wholesale products. Social media reaches, they have 2,000 Instagram followers and 2.9 thousand Facebook followers. They have strength in mobility and flexibility, but they have a weakness that there is no permanent location, which limits in-person visits.
Yeah. And with that, we wanted to create a perceptual map off of the two matrix of being an appealing social atmosphere and scheduling accessibility. Scheduling accessibility is more determined by like how easy it is to get event bookings by each company. And what we found out is that Street Craftery uniquely has a very appealing social atmosphere, and it has very easy booking and scheduling accessibility. Because the Candle Studio might have a nice social atmosphere at the location, but we found that it looked like the event booking and scheduling accessibility was quite a bit lower, which was interesting enough. Sense by the Falls, however, has very high scheduling accessibility, being that they're a pop-up, but with no permanent location. That means that they can only do like, one event at a time, which puts Street Craftery in a unique position that we can lean into this event and social atmosphere space. And with that, we created that target audience based off of the research to target business professionals aged 24 to 45, working in a variety of business settings such as marketing, sales, HR, and corporate roles in downtown Akron. Why did we do this? Well, we found out that what creative, marketing talent, these young women in talent for marketing and business positions, they want a creative experience where they can go somewhere like a flood space and have fun, but also get work done. And Street Craftery allows for that unique float space. It's right across from the John S. Knight Center and creates that relaxing social experience for people to do after work, after a conference. And with that also, we found that we want to continue the secondary audience as being those younger social groups. This is more keen to what you've already focused on at Street Craftery with your current marketing. And this will be a continual effort to get sales from this customer group. But we really want to try and emphasize on trying to get business professionals in there, as the more networking that they do within your space, you can do networking with them and follow get clients that way as well. But why did we do this in essence? Because this primary audience of young women business professionals, they crave creative social connection, which is exactly what Street Craftery does. For that, we created a creative strategy with a theme and tagline: Street Craftery, smell the connection. This tagline emphasizes a welcoming, creative, relaxing, social tone that emphasizes, the sensory experience of crafting candles at Street Craftery, but also the idea of business networking, of having after-work chats and just relaxing that these young business professionals truly want to do. So we're going to position Street Craftery as downtown Akron's creative networking space. You have places like the John S. Knight Center, your conference table. It allows you to, come in and just directly professionally network. But with Street Craftery, this is going to be a relaxed experience. It allows you to go in, have some fun, but also get some work done. And it's going to use that sensory and creativity to help spark authentic connection. So you're not just talking with somebody over coffee, standing up, sharing your LinkedIn, your business card. You actually get to do something, and that helps you be in a more creative mindset when you are speaking, which boosts your conversations that you have. And this strategy shows connection, creativity, and convenience being located to many conference centers, such as the JSK, right across the street.
And then for marketing, we essentially summed it down to 5 different channels. Next. First one being traditional media. This is going to be all your posters, flyers, postcards, right? Anything that you can think of that's going to be on paper. All we want to do is distribute these into the high traffic networking locations. So the John S. Knight Center, as we mentioned, different hotels around it. Then we want to kind of transition into what we call the afterwork corridor, which would be different bars, restaurants, coffee shops. We really just want to get our name out there. So when people look back, they see Street Craftery, they're like, oh, I remember seeing this ad. To go further into that, we want to essentially set up a billboard, in this case on the I-76, I-77, as a billboard gets your message out in front of even more people. One study showing that a billboard on something like the I-77 could essentially reach 70,000 different eyeballs a day, right? And in this case, a 4-week billboard can run you about $1,000. So we want to really capitalize on that. And then next, being a lifestyle magazine ad, as 82% of people trust these magazine ads more than social. And then when it comes to social media, I know we talked about we want to emphasize Instagram and LinkedIn, but we'll talk a little bit about Facebook and TikTok. So Instagram and TikTok, essentially you are going to be targeting the same audience, posting essentially the same sort of content, as they are both consumer and entertainment platforms. So for Instagram, we want to post about 2 to 3 times a week. We really want to emphasize the UGC type of content and really just bring out the sensory drivers. This would be like pouring the wax, lighting candles, and so on and so forth. Same thing for TikTok, but we don't really want to post as much, so 1 to 2 times a week. And Facebook, this is more so the older audience. So like we said, we want to target that younger businesswoman type of audience. So 1 post a week on Facebook. This is really to just promote different events and hopefully boost RSVP. And then LinkedIn, right? We talked about our target audience being that professional. So we want to post at least 1 time bi-weekly. This could be content such as team building, wellness post, and essentially your experience hosting X, Y, and Z company. So just some mock-ups of an Instagram post. You can see that we're really focusing on the UGC aspect and the sensory. If you see on the bottom, the Smell the Connection photo wall, that's an opportunity for those who come in to essentially take a picture with their created candle. TikTok, same thing. You can see the point of view vibe and just boosting on that sensory awareness tactic. Facebook, like I said, we really just want to promote our events. This is going to be your traditional audience. So using things such as call to actions and incorporating those different links where they can essentially book a workshop is very vital when it comes to Facebook. And then LinkedIn, like we said, we really want to showcase that professional and team building aspect of it, right? You can see we really want to drive that. Yeah, Street Craftery is a place where you guys can come after work, in between conventions, to really de-stress and just network. Experimental marketing. As Street Craftery is such a hands-on business, we want to be able to really showcase that. So first, being the John S. Knight Center pop-up, essentially we want to just bring in a mini Street Craftery, set it up in the lobby of the JS Knight Center, where people can then, in between meetings, come get a preview of what's to come when they book their workshop. So smelling candles, seeing how the process is done, and so on and so forth. Influencer night, right? We want to target the micro influencers, essentially gift them a free workshop where they can post, they can book a workshop, they can post about it, and then essentially get the word out on your behalf. And then networking mixer, same thing as the JSK pop-up, but essentially we can expand out into different places.
Yeah, and with these experiential marketing channels, we really want to target a few key partnerships that we've developed within the plan book specifically that you can read about afterwards. But this would be the Greater Akron Chamber, Downtown Akron Partnership, the ASCVB, and John S. Knight Center. Uniquely with the John S. Knight Center and ASCVB, these give you professional conference settings that we can do those mini Street Craftery bars at, as well as advertise for the networking mixer with that mini bar. And this would allow us to directly target those young professionals. With the Downtown Akron Partnership, this is a bit different. This one especially will help us target that secondary audience, being those social groups, a date night. And this allows us to get a visibility during downtown Akron events and promotions where we can do these pop-ups at as well. Further, with something like the Greater Akron Chamber membership that we looked at in our plan book, this would allow us to get beautiful access to corporate teams, though, especially young female target audience that commonly are at GAC, which I have had first-hand experience of experiencing, and most of them are that exact target audience, and they're hungry to network, and they're hungry to find new creative networking opportunities, such as Street Craftery. This allows for and all of these partnerships directly contribute to visibility, credibility, building connections, presence, and easy access within that downtown Akron area.
And finally, direct marketing, we want to focus on email. We can use a third-party emailer such as MailChimp, right? Essentially, all we want to do here is boost that retention, essentially increase that lifetime value of customers who have already purchased, right? So examples of this could be, a newsletter talking about what's happening in the studio, a thank you letter, confirmation letter, or even during slow season, you can send out different promotional codes to book a workshop and really just boost that lifetime value and customer loyalty.
So taking a look into our budget is based off $10,000. We wanted to kind of put a heavy emphasis on the marketing side of everything. So we've got traditional social media, experiential, billboard advertising, and then kind of leave the rest of the budget towards PR, memberships, direct marketing, and then the evaluation and tracking of our efforts. So how are we going to measure our success? We're going to evaluate this plan through 5 separate categories through brand awareness, conversions, ROI, engagement, and customer loyalty. For brand awareness, we're really just looking at social impressions. For conversions, we're just looking for people who are making those bookings. For ROI, we're looking at channel performance comparison and the different cost per leads and cost per acquisitions. Engagement, we're looking for content engagement rates and the drivers behind those. And then customer loyalty, we're looking at repeat visit rates and customer reviews and feedback.
And I know we covered a lot during this 20-minute presentation over it. However, if you have any more questions or want any more detail on this actual campaign, Smell the Connection, you can go ahead and look at our plan book, which has a 40-page process, as well as an appendix that has a variety of other marketing and media examples that you can take a look at. But team wants to say thank you. Thank you to Dr. Sidney and the Street Craftery team, because we truly appreciate this experience and project that allowed us to get, actual IMC experience. And we hope that we can help you better solve your company and grow it in the next year. And we're looking forward to see everything that comes to you and Street Craftery. Thank you so much. Ooh, how we feeling? I think that was quite literally 19 minutes about, so that is quite literally perfect. Do we feel good with that presentation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. So I will go ahead. I'm probably going to be able to get this submitted before Will can cut the times out and submit that video and the actual presentation itself. The only other things that we have to do on our ends is individually, if you guys have not completed the peer evaluations, don't get confused with it. There was 5 people and 100 points. So if you divide it evenly, it would be 25 points. If you don't divide it evenly, that would be how you kind of distribute the points, as a heads up. That's due by end of night. Secondly, the plan book is still pretty much almost complete. I know I was just working on kind of creating an appendix and reference page and completing that with the page numbers. If any of you have a chance before tonight to take a look at that and see any revisements that can be made to any of the sections, and or like if there's inconsistencies in like titlings of sections and you want to change the formatting of it to make it consistent, I'd greatly appreciate you for that. I know I'll be looking at it. But other than that, I think we're all good.
All right.
All right, you guys
Okay.
take it easy.
Thank you, young man.
Yeah, and thank you guys for getting through this hell of a project that it was with the last few weeks. I know many of you are already working on a bunch of projects, and this probably just kind of demoralized you coming into finals week. So I appreciate you all, and it was wonderful working with you. All right, take it easy, guys.
All right.
All right.